Alright, the next shelf sitter we're going to do is a little bear, but this one you may have to cut out on a bandsaw because there's basically three parts to this piece, and it's only about 4 inches long. This is 4 inches by about an inch and an eighth, inch and a quarter, and there's three pieces to this, and this is a real simple little project. It's not very difficult, but you're going to cut out the legs, what you're going to fit here on it, and you're going to cut out the other leg that's going to fit here. Now these are 3/4 inch. These are really a little bit too thick way too thick for this particular piece. But if you're cutting one, say 6 or 7 inches long, this is only 4 inches, like I said, then these 3/4 will probably fit just perfect as you shape it and everything like that. But I'll bring these pieces down. I mean, there's no problem there. But this is a little bear shelf sitter, and basically what it's going to do is it's going to sit flat on the shelf like that, and then the little pieces will go on like that, okay, and they'll hang down off the shelf. So this is the little bear, and it doesn't look much like a bear when you look at it, but it will be on both sides. It's going to be done, but to be honest with you, it's only one side that's going to really show on the shelf, and that'll be this side right here, in other words, but you want to do both sides anyway. And the first thing we want to do is just go ahead and we just want to go ahead and draw a little center line on this thing. And I tell you what, let's just go ahead and the tail is going to be probably, you go about halfway down the tail right here, come just a little on both sides, because the tail of the bear is not going to be that big. So we want to, oh, by the way, our grain should be running this way, this way right there. That should be the way that the grain is running. You want it to go straight way across the bear itself, in other words. And you want to go ahead and take a little bit off the tail. Basically right now we're getting our boundaries where they need to be. And or this tail sticks out a little bit too long, but that's okay. You want to use your smaller knife when you're working with this, because it's not going to be, like I said, that big. I mean, it's not going to come out that wide, but bring the tail down some more. Just getting our boundaries here. I want to be careful. It is a cool day here in Texas. I'm on the coast right now. I think it's a cool day everywhere right now. We talk here. I talked to my friend in Ohio. I have a buddy in Ohio. It's pretty cool up there right now. This is the month of February. Is we're coming up to the very last day of February. So I tell you, these months now, we're already into 2024, and these months are just going by like crazy. I tell you, it's pretty amazing. Let me get up. Let me see something here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had to shift here. That's what happens when you get old. You got to shift every once in a while. Okay, the little tail is just sort of giving an idea of what it is. And we'll take and just sort of, and then we'll go back to the tail and we'll round it off as we get the other things kind of situated here. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and on each side we want to come just a little bit in on the ears here like this, and we want to go like this on the ears. See where you have that indentation there where the ears are. In other words, and let's do that right here. And we just kind of get that right there, okay? Now the next thing we want to do, and all we're doing is getting our boundaries here, is we want to go ahead and make a cut down the middle of our ears and very lightly kind of separate our ears. Now, our ears are not going to be real thick, so we don't want to go down real far. We just want to go down a little ways and start separating our ears. There we go, just like that. And just kind of make that just like that. Okay? All right. Now the next thing, and we're gonna go further with these ears and stuff. What we're doing, all we're doing is just getting separated here on our stuff. And the next thing we want to do is separate this front part of the face from that rear, and we're going to come from the inside here and just make a cut just like that, see? And then we're going to bring all this down in here, okay? And from over here we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to bring it from the inside over here. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we've got a little nose up here, okay? So here's where the nose is. So from each side of the nose, we're going to remove a little bit of that wood, and be very careful so that nose will stand up, okay? You want to be careful now. Don't take a whole lot off at one time. Gradually work your way. Yeah, it is a cool day this morning, but it's a good day. Got a lot of things done today. And I thought, well, I go ahead and work on this next shelf sitter that we did. I hope you like the cat and now like I said, I've miniaturized some of that stuff because I didn't want to have to use a whole lot of wood. And but you can make it bigger. Now when you're in here working on this nose, you want to be careful. You do not want to you don't want to go too much on it. Okay. I'm just you gotta get that there it goes. See where that nose kind of stands out a little bit, and sometimes you have to bring that down in there, bring this down in here to kind of there we go. We just kind of get that going in there. This is not a difficult project. It's just the fact that you have to make it in 3 layers, and so there'll be some cutting out to do. Some wood to be taken off. On both sides, in other words. We have not had much of a winter in Texas this year. It's been a very, very mild winter. I can understand why we didn't have a lot of waterfowl down here this year. Of course, we haven't had a lot of waterfowl, but I was a duck hunter at one time, so I know what. I watched the ducks and the geese in this area, and this was a very poor year for the migration down here. You go, well, what's that got to do with carving? I don't know. When you've been a duck hunter and stuff, well, you see those things, or you be a part of those things. All right, well, we're going to we're just going to kind of do this. Now, these ears, we're going to kind of go back and forth on this in a little ways, in other words, because we're going to work on this as we go along. And these ears are real thin. They're real thin, so what we want to do is kind of just go like that. In other words, kind of go from each side and sort of cut that, but we want to leave a little bit we want to leave a little bit of these ears are supposed to be. We're going to kind of, they're not pointed. They're more like that. And then we're going to take out the ear back in here, in other words. And this will be just kind of like that, in other words. Now, you don't want, now you can sort of get this a little bit like that, but you don't want to change the thickness. You don't want this to change as far as the flatness of it is what I'm trying to say. You don't want that to change. You'll want to come around and you want to round this off, smooth this off as you go through here. And this tail sticking out a little bit too far. So now we want to sort of kind of come to a point here. There we go. We take and bring the ears like in sort of a realms like that. And then we want to kind of work. Got a helicopter coming over me. Hear that? There you go. That's why I say when you're on live, there's no telling what you're going to hear, especially when you're out in the garage or something like that. Like I said, you may be a witness to anything in my neighborhood. you might be able to go for a judge. Yeah, I heard this, Your Honor. But no, my neighborhood's a good neighborhood. It's just that I just get tickled because you hear all kind of different sounds, and a little helicopter come over, and there's, you just can't hardly miss the hearing it. You know, I mean, it's gonna make noise just like cars that go by and stuff like that. And I think it gives a natural look to the piece that you're doing. All right. So let's thin this up a little bit more. Thin those ears. I'm gonna kind of come at an angle like that, just like that. See how we're going? I'm gonna come at an angle, but you want to leave. This portion in here. You don't want to just cut that down. All right. Okay. And you just kind of come down here and you work with this in here, because this will be joining in here. But that tail, we want to bring it down. It's too long. must have those little snubby tails on bears are not that long. More like that, something like that, in other words. And I hope everybody's well. I hope you enjoy yourself. I know that things are kind of slow right now. I've enjoyed our Let's Talk Carving site. If you have not joined, go join it. It's you really find out a lot of things. Where our carver for the month is Lynn Doty, and Lynn is an amazing carver. He does mostly Western stuff, cowboy scenes and stuff like that. And he's quite a carver. I'll tell you what, he is a good carver and very, very amazing with his work. And so I spotlighted him in the Let's Talk Carving this week. And Lynn is it's hard to beat him when it comes to Western scenes and Western cowboy caricatures and stuff like that. He's a lot like the great carver Andy Anderson. And see how I'm all kind of bringing this in a little bit. So as you kind of look at it, see he's kind of just so a lot of it right now is shaping and getting it shaped the way you want it. I hear all these little birds in the background, and couldn't remember what the Texas state bird is, and I thought about it. It's the mockingbird, and I should have known that because I was in a play one time called "A Kill a Mockingbird," and loved that story, loved the play. Now, if you remember the story, the